Hello there, guys, and welcome to Daily Updates. We are just coming from a very interesting weekend where we witnessed history being made in South African politics. For the first time ever, the ANC went below 50%, and not just by a small margin, they went down by a whopping 10%, which is all thanks to the new party, the new kid on the block, the Mkondo Wesizwe party, which is led by Jacob Zuma. The MK party received 14.58%, while the ANC got 40.18%. The difference is that the ANC got 6 million as compared to last time when they received around 10 million, and this time MK party got 2 million. And while speaking, Julius Malema actually alluded to this fact by saying that the votes that they've lost since, well, the EFF didn't match what they did previous elections of 2019. He said that they lost votes not because those were their people. They were not their people. They were MK people who just came to EFF because there was no alternative, and now they just went back to their home, which is the Mkondo Wesizwe party. And when we do a quick recap, at the IEC, it was more of the red carpet for politicians because we saw Julius Malema being welcomed by the leadership of EFF. And actually, when he addressed the media, he answered a question on the fact that, are you going to step down since the EFF didn't do well? And he had this to say about that.
Someone was asking me if I'm going to resign because we performed bad. I won't do that. It's not happening. I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. Yeah. I'm in touch.
Also, one of the people who addressed the media was Jacob Zuma, the former president and the current leader of Mkondo Wesizwe. And when he entered that IEC place, everyone, all cameras were looking at Jacob Zuma because he's the darling of the media. He came in and addressed the IEC about the fact that do not push us, as you are blocking every objection that is coming towards you about the fact that these elections were rigged. Because if you remember well, there were like 2 hours where all the system were off, and there are a lot of videos, there are a lot of people saying that they have evidence about the fact that the elections were rigged. So Jacob Zuma is addressing them, saying that they must hold on, there is enough time. They cannot be going on Sunday and telling the public these are the final results, so they must take time before they could even do that.
And I'm hoping whoever is responsible is hearing what we are saying. Don't start trouble when there is no trouble. Give the political parties, which I think they are a majority, the chance to present their cases, their information, their everything. Don't rush us. Part of the reason we've come to a point that they should be.
And on the other hand, Sunday, Cyril Ramaphosa, the president of the country, at the moment, until a new president is introduced, he came to address and welcome those final results and also address the public regarding the elections. And while he was busy doing that, an interesting thing happened at the outside where Jacob Zuma came in late to come and enter the IEC. And I think the main purpose was that I want to show Ramaphosa who is really loved, who is the man of the moment. And unfortunately, Ramaphosa was too quick. He made sure that if Zuma comes late, he's not going to enter the premises. And indeed, they stopped him at the IEC. The security was told that Jacob Zuma cannot come if he is late because he's going to disturb, which to the unpleasant of the MK party officials who did not like what happened because they felt like Jacob Zuma is being suppressed.
I told them that I could smell you. I could smell you when I saw. are you, my
I'm
chief
all right.
justice?
How are you, Mr.
Very well.
It's good to see you.
I told him that I could smell that there's a chief justice here.
How are you? How are you? How are you? It's good to see you. Good to see you. It's good to see you, man. Lovely, 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 lovely.
Now, as of now, the results have been finalized and they are standing as follows. The ANC sitting at number 1 with 40.18%. Number 2, the DA, 21.81%, followed by the MK, 14.58%, and followed by the EFF, 9.58%. At number 5, it is the IFP, 3.85%. Number 6, the PA, Patriotic Alliance, at 2.06%, with the VF Plus following at 1.36%, and also the Action SA sitting at 1.2%. It is a very, very interesting election for everyone. A lot of political parties entered, but not many would be going to parliament because some didn't even make the cut. And it's going to be a very interesting to see how these guys will be communicating. Now, let us look at the issue of coalition. In terms of coalition, you have the ANC as the main one with 40%, followed by the DA, and EFF together with MK are the big decision makers in this because it can only go both ways. The ANC could say that let us take our 40% and use it to work with the DA where we are going to have a huge majority. Then we can work together. But the only problem in that is that none of the ANC leaders except the president want to do anything with the DA. The ANC and EC believes, most of them believe that if they work with the DA, then it would be a shame. And really, they will be just leaving their followers hanging because all their followers do not believe in the DA. So that would be a rejection to what they promised their people, that they are going to be emancipating them from the struggles of apartheid and the struggle of economic emancipation. Now, the people of ANC on the ground and in the ANC and EC do not believe that the combination of ANC and DA would work. But if it was not that, they were easily going to pick the DA as that choice to work with because anyway, the DA is not a problem political party. If you look at it, they don't go around speaking a lot. They don't go around making a lot of noise. They just sit there and make decisions that favors a minority. So you look at the position of the president and how the DA runs itself, it was going to be an easy one. But because there are people in the ANC who still believes that we are running away from the route that we've been taking from the era of Nelson Mandela. Look at it this way. The DA actually says we are open to working with the ANC, but we are going to get rid of things like cadre deployment, things like the BEE. And the BEE was introduced by the ANC, which believed there should be an opportunity for black people. Now, if the DA comes to the ANC with such demand and the ANC goes and says that, okay, we are going to work with you, what about the voters? What about the 40% that decided we love the ANC regardless and we believe that the ANC is going to change? That would be closing the door on them if the ANC decide that way. And another possibility that could work is that the ANC could easily work with the MK and the EFF, but the only problem is that there are conditions to this. MK says, we don't have a problem with working with the ANC. Our only problem is that if we enter into coalition with ANC, Ramaphosa must go. Zuma, who's not going to be going to parliament, has an unfinished business with Ramaphosa. So for these two to work, they must get rid of the leaders so that they can go and fight on the ground instead of fighting politically. The MK says, get rid of Ramaphosa and then we are going to join a coalition with you because we believe that Ramaphosa is not for black people as said by Duduzile Zuma, the daughter of Jacob Zuma. And on the other hand, Julius says, we are open to working with Ramaphosa. We are open to working with the ANC. And he is not really calling for the removal of Ramaphosa. He's happy to work with the ANC on few conditions. One of them is that land expropriation without compensation within 12 months, establishment of a state bank within 12 months, and he names others. But when you look at it, the ANC is not capable of agreeing with the terms of EFF. The ANC, as much as it speaks for the people, the black people saying that we want to emancipate you and give you land and all these things, but it was rejected in parliament. They couldn't continue with the motion. They couldn't support the EFF, but how are they going to go back and say that, let us expropriate land, knowing very well that they refused that? As much as Julius doesn't mention that we want to get rid of Ramaphosa, but it does mean that if ANC want to work with Julius and agree to expropriating land, it means Ramaphosa has to go. To work with the EFF and MK, get rid of Ramaphosa and change some of the beliefs you guys are having because of current, they are only focused on the road of eating. It means get rid of whatever mentality you had and change so that these three parties can work together. Is it going to be profitable? I feel like it might not be profitable. We are going to see hard-headed people working together where some will be saying go left, the other one says right, so the other way says go straight, and in the end, they might not be able to compromise their decisions. It is going to be a very, very complex coalition because it can work for a few months, but down the line, a lot of people are going to be feeling like we are being undermined, which puts the Patriotic Alliance in the picture. Patriotic says, I don't have a problem with working with anyone. My issue is that once we work together, I am getting the Home Affairs Department, which seems really reasonable for them, but now the question is, why would they want Kenny Kunene to go and become the Minister of Home Affairs and not say that, give us that Department of Home Affairs. We are going to get a very qualified person to be able to lead that department. But no, Gayton says Kenny Kunene will be the Minister of Home Affairs, giving us that which we've been saying for a long time, that politics is about positions. What the politicians should be doing would be to say that we have won government. Now what we want to do is put the right individuals in the seats, in this as head of departments, as ministers. If we put people who have qualifications and who have experience, that's how we are going to be able to lead the nation. Imagine for once, you get Kenny Kunene as someone who's leading Home Affairs. One thing he's known for is calling out the illegal foreigners. But Home Affairs is not only about illegal foreigners. There has to be rules. There has to be laws. There has to be all these things that he has to do in order to be saying that I am running this department to the best of my ability. But if you are running it because you feel like this is one agenda you are pushing, that won't be running it. That will just be for popularity, which many politicians, now since we have voted for them, are focusing on what do I have? Where is the tab? And how big is the tab? Well, in all honesty, they need to sit down. And as where I'm sitting, I'm looking at it at the fact that the only possibility that we're going to get out of these meetings of coalition is that the ANC will end up working with both MK and EFF and backing themselves with the contribution of the Patriotic Alliance. It is not going to be possible for ANC to maintain a good relationship working with the DA. So in that case, they are going to be going with ANC, EFF, MK, and Patriotic Alliance. That is the only available coalition that I can assure you that will have bit of results with big heads that will be fighting each other But at the end of the day, that is the only available coalition that will not upset a lot of people in South Africa. You take DA, you upset a lot of black people. You go the route of, let me work with what I have. Because in all honesty, MK, EFF, Patriotic Alliance, they all belong to the ANC. So if the ANC works with them, there is no loss. It is working with the people that belong to them. Whether we like it or not, EFF belongs to the ANC. They come from the ANC. MK comes from the ANC. The Patriotic Alliance come from the ANC. They form their own party, but with everything, they work well together. They just need to sit down and write everything down and work for the people, and forget about saying that this one owns this one leads this one, because at the end of the day, it will be like a money-making scheme. They have to go and find qualified leaders, fix all these departments that are being destroyed. Go and fix EXCOM, but put people who are qualified. Do not give us your own cadres so that they can be able to get salary as they've been campaigning for you. That is the only option that South Africa have, and the only option that is going to work for South Africa, because with the DA, a lot of allegations are saying that they are working with the USA. So no one would want to be comfortable seeing ANC working with the DA. And as of now, it doesn't matter how they speak. The people want to see the ANC working with the other three parties, which are the parties that broke away from the ANC. As we are sitting and watching and witnessing how these people would be communicating, because everyone has their own egos, a clash of 4 egos, but the ANC is against the wall. We wait to see how these guys are going to agree. But one thing for sure, whatever agreement they will be making, it should be for the benefit of people of South Africa. Anyway, guys, thank you for tuning into the channel, and until next time. Cheers.